All right, everybody, what's going on? Good afternoon. Hope you guys are doing well. And we've got some more edge rushers to look at. We're now kind of in the middle of the day three group, and things are getting a little bit more lean here, but still worth talking about, still worth considering. We may end up in a situation where we need to find a capable player in this group because the edge rusher position for the Seahawks is it's pretty thin right now. I think there are things we can do to mitigate it, but maybe you are looking at a player like a Vincent Anthony Jr. of Duke. So let's talk about him a little bit here. First, 22, big guy, 6'6", maybe a little too tall. Pretty heavy, almost 260 pounds. He's got long arms, so he definitely looks the part. Like, this is the physical profile of a player that typically goes much higher in the draft, so that's good. He did not test very well. Kind of understandable because he's a bigger guy, but a 4.84 with a 1.67 split, that's not really doing much for you. He had a good broad jump, I guess, but not really what you're looking for. Big boards, little all over the place. Draft Network really likes him. They have him in the third. Walter has him in the fourth. Tank has him in the fifth. CBS and PFF have him in the seventh. Aggregate puts him in the approximately the late fifth round. Been fairly productive for Duke the last couple of years. Grand total of 68 pressures. PFF grades haven't been great. Last year it was actually sub replacement level. But 7.5 sacks, 13 tackles for loss. Good production, right? He's putting up numbers. Not amazing numbers, but good numbers. So he's got the size and length that you would typically see in a much better prospect. He's got some speed and craftiness to get past tackles. There are some tricks that he can pull out to win. He can vary up his route to the quarterback. He can vary up his pattern. He uses first step quickness plus bend to win on the outside. He can shoot gaps against the run. So there are some nice things that he brings to the table if you look at the tape, but here's the thing. He played at Duke. So you're not playing the best competition. You're not being held to the highest standard. And you look at his testing numbers, you have to ask yourself, okay, does he actually have first step quickness? Or does it just look like it? And is that going to show up in the NFL? And I feel like the answer is probably no. He gets bullied in the run game, even though he's a little bit of a bigger guy. He's not that stout. He doesn't have great change of direction skills. Even though he's got length, he doesn't shed well, which is going to be a big problem because if his speed doesn't translate, he's going to have to do something else. And leverage. He doesn't win leverage because he's so tall, needs to get low. So, yeah, Vincent Anthony Jr., I mean, it feels like he did what he did in college. And what he did in college was not even that amazing as kind of a big fish in a small pond, and he'll get pushed around pretty hard when he goes against better competition in the NFL. I will say he's got the body that some team is going to covet. They're going to look at his profile and be like, we can figure this out. And I get it, but I'd go fifth round here. I think fifth round's about right. Could be fool's gold. Wouldn't surprise me if his physical profile ended up amounting to nothing, but it's I don't know. I don't see it happening personally. I think there are too many problems here. All right, Mason Reiger is our next guy here, the Wisconsin one, 24 years old, so definitely older. Tall, not really big. He's 250, so a little bit on the lighter side. Arm length is not terrible, but pretty bad. Big hands, so a little bit of a funky build. Testing was not the best, not terrible. The 1.6, 110-yard split, you'll certainly see worse. He also had a monster vert and broad, so he is explosive, even if he's not necessarily fast. Walter really likes him. They have him in the early fourth. PFF puts him in the fifth. Early fifth, though. CBS has him going undrafted. Aggregate has him in that like late fifth, early sixth. Production's okay the last couple years. 12 tackles for loss, 10 sacks. Not over the top. He did drastically increase his number of pressures in 2025. Oh, by the way, 2023 was actually the second to most recent year. 2024, he missed completely. So you do have that concern right there. But 45 pressures, 5 sacks, 2025. Kind of notable that he did not increase his sack numbers, even though he doubled his pressure numbers. So you look at the tape on Reiger, one thing that you can say is that he slides off contact well. He's got a knack. It's not like, and it's not nearly as good, but it reminds me of Kalijah Cansey. And Cansey's obviously a much better player, but that same ability to just kind of slide off contact, slippery. He's got a high motor, doesn't stop going till the whistle blows. He should be a good stand-up edge. I think he can do the stuff that he needs to do in terms of like coverage and dropping into zone. He does use his hands pretty well when he's engaged with blockers. And he's not bad at shedding. He can work through blockers okay. I don't know if it'll work in the NFL because of the arm length, but he does do a decent job of shedding. The other side of that, of course, is can he do it against better players? I'm not so sure. The length makes you wonder a little bit. He does get pushed around in the run game because he is lean. He doesn't really stand up, hold up against blockers that well. He's not fast or quick enough to justify his undersized nature. Like, if you're going to be this small, you really need to be a little bit quicker than this. And look, this is why he's not a highly touted prospect, don't get me wrong, but it's not great. He's predictable in the way he rushes, and that's not going to cut it at the NFL level. And yeah, he didn't convert a lot of his pressures into sacks in 2025, which is a little bit funky because of what you saw from him in 2023. So maybe he's going to be a Clowney type. And that's not the end of the world, but Clowney brings a lot of other things to the table to mitigate the fact that he's not the greatest finisher in the world. So kind of bland for me. Not really much to say. I find him to be a little bit boring as a prospect. I don't think he has the athletic prowess to get to the next level. He could add weight. He is a little bit of a bit taller guy. He could add some weight and maybe become a little bit more sturdy against the run. Maybe that would help. So 5th round, I can't object to it. I think 5th round's okay. Mostly because the draft is not good. Okay, last guy for this video. Interesting one here. Tyreak Sapp of Florida, the Gators. 23. This is definitely a different kind of edge, so much so he may not even really be an edge. 6'2", 273 pounds. There are definitely people out there that view him as a defensive tackle, or maybe at best a 5-tech, maybe a 4-eye, and maybe so. Not great length, by the way, 32-inch arms. Only did one thing at the combine, which was good, but bench press, I mean, he's got short arms anyway, so whatever. At the big boards, we got 3rd, we got 4ths, we've got 5th. We've got some big boards that don't even have him, period, like ESPN and the Draft Network. The aggregate, however, pulls him all the way down to the 6th round. So overall, not a super highly touted prospect. And mainly the problem is 2025 was brutal. He only had 1 sack all year. Production was way down. PFF grade was way down. And 2024, that was great. He had 7 sacks, 13 tackles for loss, 90.4 PFF grade. He was going in the right direction in 2024. But then 2025 just did not break out, and now he's kind of becoming a forgotten guy. So he is oversized, and at least that makes him interesting. That makes him stand out, right? He's cerebral. I think he reads plays well, and then he gets to the right place to disrupt the play, even when it's not immediately obvious what's going on. Smart player. He can get things done as a power rusher. He's somebody that can collapse the pocket with a bull rush a little bit, and he's hard to push around against the run. So he is going to hold up against the run. And he's definitely going to be somebody who I think at the NFL level can slide inside on snaps, like 3rd downs, passing downs. You can slide him inside, and you can see him cause problems for opposing teams when he slides inside. Now, of course, there's a trade-off. He is slow and sluggish and not very athletic because he is bigger. It's as expected. He's not a good tackler. He misses a lot of tackles. He may end up a tweener, and by what I mean by that is that he may end up being somebody that is not really an edge, not really an interior lineman, just kind of a positionless dude that can't figure out where to go. And if that's the case, then you're just left with a special teamer. He doesn't really have great length to help get off blocks either, so that's a problem, and he's not very good with his hands yet. Hand usage is poor. So, unique player. He's proven he can be productive. I like that. You do have to know what you're getting here, like buyer beware. He's not a true edge. I'd be very surprised if he can play standing up, so that might make him unappealing to the Seahawks regardless, at least as a edge rusher. Again, he might end up being kind of a Michael Bennett type, 5 tech that can slide inside, but he might also end up being none of it. So, late 4th rounder in my book if you need a player like this. I kind of like it, but you got to be wary. And at the end of the day, this is a product of a poor draft more than anything else. So I would go with the late 4th rounder, I suppose. And that'll do it for this video. I'll see you guys later. Go Hawks. And everybody have a good rest of your day. We'll do some more edges later. And we'll be wrapping up this position group today. All right. See you guys later. Go Hawks.